Hello everyone, this is Wervin here, and today I'm planning to actually colonize. So in my colonization video, we've been going through how to find out whether a planet is worth colonizing by taking the soil samples
Grab anchor
and then doing the core sampling with the core sampling probes. So we've been doing that in Ultima system, and I've decided that I don't only want to colonize Ultima system, but also I want to colonize in Black Hell the planet Carbonite. And the reason is that Carbonite is getting terraformed. And terraforming is a very new mechanic. It's just been added to the game, and now people are terraforming this entire planet. So that means you don't need environmental domes anymore. So I thought it would be nice to compare a colony with and without terraforming. So I'm going to be both settling this one and Ultima, but I thought I would do this one first because it's a bit easier. This planet has really mostly carbon. I can actually show that. Show MB samples. So here you can see I took a soil sample from Black Hell Carbonite. Last time we did it in Ultima Last Frontier, but the principle is the same. Show MB analyze Black Hell Carbonite, and you can see it really has a big abundance of carbon. It only has Geo4, so it doesn't have the 5 that we have in Ultima Last Frontier, but it has so much carbon and not so much of the other materials, and it's fertile for fruit. But the thing is, once you start looking at the distribution of materials, you get a lot of different colors, and that might be quite hard to grasp. And carbon makes for a nice blue color. So once we put on an overlay on this planet to see where we really want to settle, it should be easier for me to really find out a nice spot. Because I'm also still learning the game, so I thought I would start with the easier planet and then slowly go to the next planet. So in that sense, sorry, it will be a bit of a mess. It's already a bit of a mess. But then again, I'm also still learning, and I hope this whole settling colonization process, me showing it, will also be very useful to you. So now that we had our sampling probes, they came to 100%. So they sampled for a couple of days here. And then you can do show MB sample map overlay. Then you get all the data that the probes gathered. You get them basically overlaid over your planet. So let's see what happens. Collecting sample map data for the overlay, which takes a bit. So the probes basically analyzed every inch of soil on this planet, and they'll tell me what the distribution of resources is. %, a little bit more. Bam! There we are. The planet changed into a disco ball, which looks pretty cool. So now you see all these different colors. And as I meant, this is quite easy because now black is basically there's nothing there, and light blue is there's a lot of stuff there, a lot of carbon especially. So now I'm just going to fly around a bit and try to find a nice spot to settle, and in the meantime I'll try to explain you my thought process of where I want to settle. So remember that the deed is actually quite big, so it will include a lot of squares. However, because you need to transport stuff to warehouses in your deed, you don't want all your light squares to be distributed very far away, because then you need to have lots of transport grids, and that wouldn't be very efficient. So I'm just going to fly around a bit, and I'll be back once I have something interesting to tell. So you can basically claim your deed, which is just an area of the planet. And the planet is absolutely huge, so a lot of people can settle there. And as you might be able to see, I see like blue lines over here. So I was thinking of settling there, because I'll put the picture in this video as well. Prolapser made a very nice picture on the Wikipedia that shows you how big a deed is, and it is extremely big. And I counted the long squares and the long part of the rectangles, and it was about 20 in diameter. And most people you see have colonies that they only use like 6 or 20 or something of the squares, and you have so much more. So it seems that if you got a couple of nice clusters of minerals or resources, then that would be a good place to settle. So here might also be good. I don't know if you can see my cursor, but here's some nice clusters of light blue. So black basically means there's nothing there, while light blue means there's a lot of carbon. This gets more complicated the more resources are there, because there's more colors. So this is a good way of learning how it works. Here's also 2 nice strips here, but I'll just fly there and then we can see what's over there. So as you can see, I'm now at one of the strips here. Blue, you can see here's a green square, and here's a blue square, and here's the other square. So you want to know where the resources are, as I mean the squares are not precise, the metals or the materials are not all lined up perfectly in a square. So you have to find out where the nice stuff is. So how do you do that? So you can go into first person mode. You have to hover quite low. I think it's below 5,000 meters, and you have to stand still. You cannot move. And then you can do show the core sample. I think that was it. Yes. Then he's sampling there. Then you can see that this one has a little bit of fruit in it, but not a lot at all. But it has a lot of carbon in it. Like, this is the base yield of a mine that you can put there, and you can put a lot of mines in there. So this is this strip. So there's some good carbon mining to be done here. So you can see that the plots of land are absolutely humongous. So you kind of want to have not so hilly terrain, so this is not very good to build on. So I'll try to maybe include this as the edge of my deed, and then have that part included. And this part. We can also see what the red and the green means. It's a good learning experience. Because as far as I understand, all the metals or all the minerals have different colors, and then the fruit and stuff also changes whatever is happening. The only thing, if it's very dark, it's not good. We can actually show that. So I can go there.
Too low terrain, pull up. Too low terrain, pull up.
Let's see. Core sample. Ooh, 1 fruit. That's it. So basically, you really don't want anything here. Well, you can build warehouses and stuff, because they don't need to produce anything. So it's not like this piece of land is useless. You just don't produce anything from it. What about here? So here's a bit of aluminium as well, and a bit of carbon. And then I'm guessing this green stuff here is that there's more fruit, but I could be completely wrong. To wait until we're standing still. Otherwise it says beam has too much movement and it doesn't want to work. Yeah, so this has a bit of fruit, not a lot, but so that's probably what the green means. So then according to me, this part should then have a fair amount of carbon again. Oh, there it was. Yeah, you really have to stand still before you start this. $193 carbon. That's not bad at all. So, I guess we've settled. I mean, there might be better deeds out there, but it seems to me like the planet type, the geo of the planet and the abundance of minerals, and for example, fertilities, is more important than actually the deed placement, because if you look at the deeds, they are so humongous and the buildings are fairly small that you build, so you could really put a lot of factories on one square already. So as long as you have a nice cluster of squares, because you don't want them too spread out, because then you have to build a lot of transport grids. So as long as that's all fine, then I think putting your deed in exactly a certain location might be a bit less important than actually just finding the right planet to settle on. So let's see. I'm gonna probe around a bit more, and once I want to claim my deed, I'll be back. So I probed around a bit more. As you can see here, there's some clusters as well, which I tried, but the maximum yield I could find there was 170. And if you remember this line here, I had 207 base yield of carbon. So I think I decided to go for this part. And the reason I'm going for carbonite now first is that, well, I'm still learning the ropes of the game as well, and in the other planets you have a lot more different minerals and a lot more different fertilities, so the colors are all different. So you've got some red in there and some purple and some blue and green, and you need to really kind of get a good hang of to do this core sampling. Well, here it's very easy. This planet is very much specialized on carbon, so mostly I'm just looking for light blue squares, and then with the carbon I can start building up more materials and building more up more money in order to colonize other planets. So that's my plan. However, whether it's the best plan, I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of other planets that are that you can colonize. You can also specialize in iron or foods or whatever. But I think this is going to be my first one. So I'll head down and see if I can plant a deed. So planting a deed costs stellar credits. If you've got premium, you build up stellar credits every day or every month. So I've got 390 now. Having a colony costs you 80 stellar credits a month, and I think if you've got full premium you get about 300 per month. So that would mean you can have 3 colonies maintained at a time. So let's see, I don't want all that hilly stuff. I do want that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I heard that the squares might be different size in each planet. So this is not a guarantee that it's exactly 20. So I'll have to be a bit careful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That should be fine, right? And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I might miss that square, but this should already, I think you can fit around 50 domes or 20 domes or something like that in one square, and each dome can hold like an incredible amount of mine, so I don't even think I'll be able to fill all that in any time soon. So another reason I'm settling this carbonite planet is that it's being terraformed. So basically, once I settle here, I will not have to worry about domes at all. I can just build my stuff once the terraforming is complete. So I thought I would already claim a deed, and then once the terraforming is complete, I can build up a colony here, and maybe I can also build a colony up in that Ultima where we already put out the core samples, the sample core probes, core sample probes, that's it. And then basically I can learn how to build a colony both here and on Ultima, so I can show how it's done on both a terraformed planet and on a normal planet. So let's see if I can claim a deed. This is exciting. Don't crash. Nice shaky ground again. Landed on carbonite. EVA. So if I claim this deed, click again to confirm. Claim deed. There. Let's see what happens. So this is completely new for me as well. So I'm going to end my EVA. So here's already some stuff. So, and just to illustrate, so this is part of my deed, this is on the strip, just to show you how big a carbon harvester is in one square, is this. So you can build a lot of these and they will all produce a base of 260, 270 carbon every day. So, and that's without the bonuses, so you can easily get lots of carbon on even one of these squares. So even one of these squares will keep me busy for a while, so I'm not too bummed out if I chose a bit of a wrong location, because I don't think it will have such a big impact on my plans at all. Right, so I think I just hit the end of my colony, and the way I found out is that suddenly my UI disappeared. So if I fly closer now, it should appear again. So that's the strip I was talking about before. There. So now I'm in my settlement again. So let's see how far we can go. I need to steer up a little bit as well because of gravity. I could put the grav anchor on, but then I would go so slowly. A bit annoying. So in here is the middle. It's probably around there, right? There. So as you can see, I can now fly up straight. There's the middle. So for me it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 squares radius to the middle. So a diameter of 26 squares. So this should also easily be included. So it's like all of this is now mine. So yeah, it was a bit of a chaotic video, but that's because I'm also figuring out all this stuff, and I can only do it once, because once I claim the deed I lose my stellar credits. So I hope you forgive me for a bit of a mess, and I hope you learned a bit as well. I definitely did. So hope you found it useful, and thanks for watching.